dropped Diddy's superseding indictment. I repeat, the feds have named Diddy's co-conspirators. Guess what? Diddy wanted it by the first. The feds said, guess what? We're giving it to you on January 30th. You guys, this is a clear signal that the feds are ready for whatever Diddy can bring. We just got the legal documents. This is not a drill. We said this was happening. The superseding indictment has dropped. The feds have also released the enterprise letter. The enterprise letter is going to name Diddy's co-conspirators and everything else. This is hot off the presses. You're not going to see anybody else with this. Well, in a few minutes you might, but you're with me right now. Let's get into this mess because, baby, when I say the ish has hit the fan, the ish has officially hit the fan. This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill. Just to be clear, for everybody that is joining us right now, I am pulling up the legal documents as we speak. Sorry, we are pulling up the legal documents as we speak. The prosecutors have issued the enterprise letter that people did not think that was dropping until March the 7th. This is a clear indication and signal. We're going to go over everything in detail, legal analysis, but this is a clear signal that the feds are ready for whatever Diddy has to come. This is not a good thing for Diddy. Y'all, the streets are saying this is it. This is the moment we've been waiting for. The power players, they are shaking. The industry, they are scrambling. And let me be real with y'all. Let me just be real clear. This is a new indictment. This is not just a legal document. This is a declaration, a warning shot, a shift in the balance of power that some of these billionaires never thought they'd live to see, or they didn't want Diddy to live to see it. But listen, this is why it's important. What's coming next? It's going to make everything we've seen so far look like a warm-up. And the best part, these powers that be cannot stop it. Okay, so sit tight, grab a snack, because we're about to break it all down. And trust me, by the end of this, you're going to see exactly why the celebrity ecosystem is about to shake. You're about to see why they are actually shaking. Okay, you guys, let's get in to this, shall we? Let's get into this. Okay, so do you guys want to start with the superseding indictment, or do you want to start hey guys, do you guys want to start with the superseding indictment, or would you like to start with the actual enterprise level? I think we should start with the actual enterprise letter. The enterprise letter, it's going to name the defendants, and that's what I want to see right now. Really quick, Paige Collins, thank you so much. You said best breaking news journalist. Thank you so much, Paige Collins. You guys, if you're new to the channel, really quick, we were the first to break that Diddy was under investigation. We were the first to break that he was, there was a grand jury being impaneled. We were the first to break that a grand jury was taking testimony. We were first to break that he would apologize. We were also the first to break that he would be arrested, and we were the months before everybody else. And we were first to also break the fact that he was in New York prior to his arrest, witness tampering. The feds arrested him 2 days later. You guys, this is a lot. We've been waiting on this letter. We have not reviewed the contents. We're going to do legal analysis with together. It's going to be great. We're going to have some legal guests actually join us as well. Sit back. There's a lot to unpack. This is breaking news. Even the major media outlets, most of them have not been able to post about it because they have the reporters poring over it, trying to see what it means. Thank God you guys joined us. You are going to see what it means in real time. You're going to see what it actually means in real time. Okay, so why is this so important? You guys, this is a power play by the feds. And that's all that can be said. The feds, the Diddy's team thought they could run out the clock because they thought the feds weren't prepared. We're about to get into legal analysis. I'm just waiting for a few more of you guys to come in. Hit that like button, subscribe. You guys know I'm trying to grow. I just started a podcast. If you guys have not seen the Fall of Diddy, the Fall of Diddy, a mogul. If you guys haven't seen that, you should check it out. Yours truly is actually featured in there. We were also featured in the Hollywood Reporter for our groundbreaking investigation of what's going on in the Diddy team. Yes, we are a blogger, but we are giving blogging a good name. Whew, I'm so excited. We've been waiting for this day for a while. Okay. So why is this so important? Diddy's team thought that the prosecution didn't have anything. They thought that if they kept drowning the prosecution in paperwork, that they could drown them in paperwork, divert investigative resources. On top of that, and that's why they've been making all these senseless motions. On top of that, they really thought that the feds needed more time for the investigation. I'm not going to lie. I thought the feds needed more time for the investigation. Okay. However, by dropping these papers and one of the ways they thought they were going to do that, and you need to listen with this, they were demanding that the feds give them everything February 1st. By demanding that, they thought that they could get that. The feds weren't ready, poke holes, get Diddy out in technicality. The feds were like, no, you'll get everything March 7th. The Diddy's team was like, you guys aren't ready. And the earlier we get these papers, the earlier you get to walk to freedom, Diddy. This is what they thought. However, by releasing these documents a month early, actually a month and 6 days earlier than expected, and a day before the feds were demanding them, or at least 6 days before the feds were demanding them, they are sending a clear message to Diddy that they are 100% ready for them. They are sending a message. They are ready for you, Diddy, and you are not getting out of jail. If I was Diddy, I would be so worried about this. If I was Diddy, I would honestly be crying about this right now if I was Diddy. Again, this is a show of power. This is a show of force. This is a show of a lot of stuff. And the fact that Diddy is now, ooh, this is just really, really bad. Also, really quick, you guys, I am also on Snapchat. If you guys don't know, I broke some exclusive news about what's going on with Jay-Z, and it is not good for Jay-Z. On Snapchat last night, I'm putting more breaking information on Snapchat. Make sure you follow me on Snap. You will get the tea first. Follow me on Snap. I did a live about it today. It is good, but nothing compares to what's going on with Diddy. Okay, let's get in to this real quick. We've been waiting for this for a while. Mimar, thank you so much for joining the channel. I'm on a new streaming platform, so I don't know how to put it on the screen, but don't worry, I'll get back. Paige Collins, thank you for saying the best breaking news journalist. Also, who is it? Victor Wiggins said, keep grinding, baby girl. Thank you so much, Victor. I will do my best. Karen Yoho said, good to see you, Tisa. Fed said, bet. Exactly, Karen. The Fed said, bet. You want to do this? Come on, y'all. The Fed said, get over here. Let's dance. Let's dance, right? Confession of a reality TV queen. What's up, girl? You said, Tisa, girl, we've been waiting for this. Let's cook. That's right. A. Murphy Brown, thank you so much for becoming part of the Tattletales family. And Michelle Washington said, Tisa, you bring the tea, crumpets, and the biscuits. Thank you so much, Miss Washington. Okay, with no further ado, let's start off. And this is my Snapchat code. Make sure you pause, scan it, follow me on Snap. I will be breaking more exclusive information. And I am telling you guys, this has nothing to do with Diddy, but it kind of does. There is something big coming for Jay-Z. And if he thought that Busby was the worst of his problems, that is child's play. What is coming for Jay-Z is going to take down, I predict, himself and Roc Nation. It is coming in less than 10 business days. It is huge. I'm telling you guys, I talked about it in the last live. I'll talk about it after this video. We'll get to Diddy, but let me just say, because I want people to hear me when I say this, mark this live. You have it on my authority and good faith. There is something coming huge, and this is very bad news. And if you thought that Tony Busby was your biggest worry, baby, you have a lot more to go. Okay, y'all, let's get into this. Let's do the prosecutor's letter first, and then we can get into, let's do the prosecutor's letter first, and then we will get into everything else. Okay. Ooh, is everybody locked in? Let's go, let's go, let's go. Wow, this is such bad news for Diddy. I mean, it's a good news for us, but it's really, really, really bad news for Diddy. Why? Because Diddy wasn't expecting this. Diddy really believed his lawyers when they said the feds had nothing. The feds were acting like they had nothing, and they dropped this on top of Diddy's heads on a Thursday, leaving them a Friday to respond. They said, baby, you want to dance? Let's boogie. All right. Literally, when Diddy said, I run this city, send the cops, the DA, the feds to come get me, they said, bet, we'll see you. We'll see you soon. Okay, anyway. The honor, and again, we are reading this in real time. This is real suspense. Let's get into this. We've been waiting for it. You're getting this even before most major media gets this. Most major media, if you Google it, are not reporting these contents because they've yet to receive them, or they're pouring over it very quickly, trying to figure out what to do. We have some special legal guests on the way, but in the meantime, we're going to read this letter, do a little preliminary legal analysis, and then the legal eagles are going to come and let us know what's going on. Okay. Dear Judge Subramanian, the government respectfully submits this letter regarding the S1 indictment returned today in the above referenced case by the grand jury sitting in the district. The S1 indictment is the superseding indictment. Diddy got arrested prematurely, as you'll remember. They said that there will be more charges. This is what is called an enterprise letter. The enterprise letter is what they give to the judge to lay out exactly what they think the criminal organization is, who was involved, co-conspirators, co-defendants, everything. As set forth below, the superseding indictment contains no new charged offenses, but includes additional allegations in count 1, the charged racketeering conspiracy, and specifies certain victims relevant to counts 1 and 3. The government has already produced the vast majority of discovery associated with the S1 indictment and does not expect the S1 indictment to affect existing pretrial deadlines. The government respectfully requests that the defendant be arraigned on the superseding indictment at the next scheduled court conference. Now, I know what you guys are saying. Tisa, where's the rest of the charges? Let's get into what it says. Keep in mind that with this superseding indictment, they still have time to put in additional superseding indictments. But this is very curious that they're starting off with this. So did they run out the government's clock? We will see. In addition to the allegations included in the initial indictment, the superseding indictment 1, they line it as superseding indictment 1. This is important to note. That means that there will be a superseded indictment 2 and 3. That means that, this was a dumb move. So I think I see what the government's doing. Okay, calm down. There are more superseding indictments coming. You can do multiple superseding indictments. Diddy petitioned the court to have certain evidence, his right to view it, his right to look at it. The government has been fighting him for weeks about whether he has the right to do it, because they say that if they give him the right, well, guess what, right? They said that if we give you the right, Diddy, we are 100% certain that you will use this for evil because you are rotten to the core and you are evil. The government has been fighting, but the government got slick. They said, you know what? We're going to give you what you asked for, but not what you wanted. We are putting all this information that you've been dying to know, we're putting it in a superseding indictment. That way it is under protection. It is under, it can stop with any type of jury influence. On top of that, Diddy, right? It actually puts more counts in that'll make sure that you can't get out on bail. Let's get into this. Additional speaking allegations regarding racketeering activity. Again, they just did a superseding indictment. At one point, we thought that they would only have one superseding indictment. It looks like the government is promising multiple. They are playing hardball. Extension of the racketeering conspiracy from in or about 2004 through in or about 2024. Ooh. Additional allegations related to the means and methods of the racketeering enterprise related to sex trafficking, including the trafficking of 3 female victims. He thought it was only Cassie. 3 female victims, victim 1, 2, and 3, and certain acts of violence. Additional racketeering activity involving kidnapping, chargeable under New York penal law, and additional narcotics and controlled substances, specifically Cylon? How do you say this? Psilocyn, Cylon, and meth included in the racketeering activity involving the possession with the intent to distribute and distribution of narcs and controlled substances in violation of federal law. Are they trying to say that he was moving weight? Modification of the two-wit clause in the count 3 of victim 1, 2, and 3. The superseding indictment does not add any new counts or contain any substantial changes other than those outlined above. Again, you guys, so already we're getting more information, but it looks like the superseding indictment is one of many that is promised to come. Diddy, you got what you asked for, but not what you wanted. You ain't never getting out of that jail. They said the government has already produced to the defense nearly all Rule 16 discovery related to the new allegations contained in the superseding indictment 1. This discovery included productions of search warrant affidavits, the defendant's own electronic devices and accounts, identified data from devices and accounts belonging to third parties, and subpoena returns, among other material. In addition to the discovery already produced, the government is preparing a limited discovery production related to counts 1 and 3 of the superseding indictment. Specifically, by approximately February 14th, baby, they giving it to him on Valentine's Day. No bars. Mwah. They literally are, you're giving them a Valentine's Day surprise. By approximately Valentine's Day, the government expects to produce additional identified data from the third-party cloud account 1, from which Diddy has already received identified data. The government anticipates that the additional identified data from his iCloud account will be limited to media files, videos, and photographs. From approximately a 1-year period, the government will continue to promptly produce on a rolling basis any additional discovery materials it obtains. The government does not expect the superseding indictment to affect the scheduling order entered by the court on January 8th. Again, we're reading this real time. Remember when we told you guys that Diddy was trying to rush the government because he thought if he rushed the government, then they would be caught flat-footed. Like, damn, it's May 5th and we don't even got the superseding indictment. What are we going to do? Except for the fact, you big dummy, this is the United States of American government. Do you not think that they haven't seen mob bosses and criminals play hard? What does that mean? They are now jamming Diddy up. They're saying that, Your Honor, we're trying to get this additional information, and as it becomes available, we'll 100% make it available to you. That means that Diddy is going to trial on May 5th, just like he wanted, unless he says, hold on, let's get a continuances and spread it out. You're going just like you wanted, but you might get the evidence you need to look over. You might get it the day before court. You might get it the day of court. And the federal government is saying, and you're the one that has access to it. So what are we really doing? What are we really doing? It's fine. It's fine. We can do that because it's going to delay the trial even more. And the more time is on the government side, the better. Time is not on Diddy's side. The less they have to investigate, the less time they have to investigate, the worse he'll be off. Okay. So are we up to speed on that? Okay, let's move on, right? So anyway, okay, so let's see. So we'll get, okay. So they also said that apparently the rumored iCloud account that Diddy said was a lie, that Diddy said doesn't exist, that Diddy said this and that, right? The rumored iCloud account, the feds have broken into. Diddy had a lot of stuff in an iCloud account. That's where he kept things in mobile clouds. I want to say it's iCloud, but it could have been a private security also, but let's just call it iCloud or something like an iCloud account. That's where Diddy took all his files, right? And that's where Diddy took all his files, and that's where Diddy uploaded everything. And he thought if he didn't give the passcode and they were in like secure servers that nobody could ever break into them and the government couldn't track it down. The government got into the account. They found a secure server, right? And they got into it that has the photographs and videos. This appears to be the blackmail information. This appears to be the blackmail information, all right? Again, they're saying that, listen, we're going to, as we get information, we'll give it to you. But don't worry, we're on track for that May 5th. We're on track. So Diddy thought that this is all the government had. The government is basically spitting in his face saying, take it. We've been had that. We're on some new stuff. And when we're done with that, you can have that. But for right now, work on this. Diddy is caught flat-footed. He was not expecting this. Okay. Arraignment and the Speedy Trial Act. The government respectfully suggests that the court arraign the defendant on the superseding indictment on the next scheduled court conference. They said, as the government has previously indicted, its investigation, again, see, this is why I love doing this with you guys. We are getting confirmation after confirmation. We just said moments ago, this is the first of many superseding indictments. This is the first of many. They thought Cassie was the only victim. They so far had 3 victims. They have them on kidnapping, okay? Narcotics, racketeering, all that stuff. Okay. They said the gut has previously indicated its investigation remains active and ongoing. The government will endeavor to return any further superseding indictments as promptly as possible, mindful of the May 5th trial date in this case. Let's not forget that they can return superseding indictments, I believe, up to May 5th. Let me just double check on ChatGPT to make sure. Our legal eagles will be joining us shortly, but let's just double check. In the United States of America, in the Southern District of New York, how if a trial is starting on May 5th, what's a cutoff for the government to issue superseding indictments? Hold on, guys. Let's actually see. I want to make sure we have this right. They said in the United States, there's no strict cutoff date for the government to file a superseding indictment before trial. However, the court's discretion and procedural fairness are key factors in deciding whether the filing is permissible. These are the considerations. Timing and prejudice to the defendant. Courts typically discourage superseding indictments too close to trial if they would prejudice the defense's ability to prepare. Filing a superseding indictment very late, days or weeks before the trial, may lead to challenges or motions to delay the trial to allow the defense time to address new charges. So that means that they can bring it up to a few days before the trial. Now, what would that do? That will delay the trial. But in this case, delay is good. It gives the government more time. Diddy is the one that doesn't want this trial delayed. Again, time is not on Diddy's side. And the quicker he has this done, the better it will happen. All right? Discovery rules. The government must comply with discovery deadlines. So filing a superseding indictment close to trial could require additional disclosures. Again, that's at the court's discretion. Court orders or scheduling deadlines. The court might impose specific deadlines for superseding indictments in complex cases. If no such deadlines exist, and I do not believe that they exist in this case, the government can file one as long as it doesn't unfairly disadvantage the defendant or violate procedural rules. In practice, filing a superseding indictment within a month or 2 before trial is common, provided the defense has time to respond. So, here's the thing. And let's just think about this. So basically, the court doesn't challenge if you file a superseding indictment 1 or 2 months before the court date starts. The court date starts May 5th. The government said that March 7th, they would deliver everything. So that means they plan to have all superseding indictments in by March 7th, right? That is the thing where it can't be challenged either way. However, let's just say they find stuff in April. Let's just say they find stuff May the 1st. If it is something so damning that, yes, Diddy has a right to defend himself, but let's just say they find out that he got 18 bodies under his, under his summer beach house, right? Or under Star Island. Let's just say he got 18 bodies laying under there. There's no way that the judge will be like, no, the superseding indictment is too soon. You can't use it. There's no way the judge will do that. What the judge will do is say, you know what? This, in the interest of justice, because we found 18 bodies, we're going to have to address this. But what we'll do for you, counsel, is we will pause the trial, right? And we'll give you additional time to look at the evidence and to prepare a defense. Okay? And then we will reconvene. We will reconvene the trial at this later agreed upon date. Normally that'd be good. For Diddy, it is not good. For Diddy, it is not good. For Diddy, it's not good. Okay. Okay. All right. So, and the government says They said, additionally, and regardless of whether the government seeks to charge any additional offenses, to the extent the government obtains additional evidence that it may seek to introduce at trial, it will disclose such evidence to the defense as either Rule 16 or the Jenks Act material. The government further remains cognizant of its ongoing Brady obligations and will promptly disclose any exculpatory evidence in its possession for which it becomes aware. Again, Brady is you have to balance defendants' rights with the interest of justice. Hopefully, they are one and the same, but you're always doing like a weighing test. So, this also shuts Diddy down from filing any more frivolous things. You don't have to put emotion. Show us what you know, Your Honor. We already told those fools that when we see something they need, we'll give it to them. Why are they bothering us? Literally, put the phone on do not disturb. Diddy, this kneecapped your whole thing. They said at the December 18th status conference, the court set a control date of March 17th and excluded time under the Speedy Trial Act until that date. Under Second Circuit law, the same Speedy Trial Act exclusion under the original indictment are carried out to a superseding indictment. Oh, okay. So basically, they're saying that we have March 17th under your own control date to give any superseding indictments. All right. They said a superseding indictment inherits the clock of the original indictment. Accordingly, time is excluded under the Speedy Trial Act until March 17th, 2025. All right. So they queued it up for us. Okay, let's bring the superseding indictment in because, yeah. Oh, look at me, I'm double. Let's bring the superseding indictment in. With no further ado, I present to you the superseding indictment. We present the superseding indictment. Oh, listen. Also, you guys, I just want you guys to know really quick, and this is actually serious. Don't forget to watch the Fall of Diddy. It's out right now on Max. It is 4 episodes. It is great. Yours truly is actually making a few cameos in there. Go ahead and support your girl. Also, we got this out to you first. And I just want to say that YouTube, and there's a lot of great legacy media, but the great Shirley Halpern, she is right now with the Hollywood Reporter. She actually did a write-up of how YouTube is the future of TV because it is replacing mainstream media because a lot of people are losing trust in mainstream media. But even if you do have trust in mainstream media, because we are one person or two people operations, we can get news out bigger, better, faster, and turn on the dime with mainstream media. For instance, we were able to go live to actually bring you these documents before most media places have had time to actually unpack. That said, there is a great article that Shirley Halpern wrote about YouTube, and she talked to me a little bit too. Please go to the Hollywood Reporter. You can just put in Tisa Tells Hollywood Reporter. I'll put a link in the in the description box if you're watching this, but you can do Tisa Tells Hollywood Reporter, and the link will take you directly there. Please support myself. Please support Shirley. It's all good. Okay, now, where were we? Let's get into this. Ooh, the Hollywood Reporter, they are on their game, have already broken apart the superseding indictment. And they said among the new allegations in the complaint are that Diddy paid hotel security staff $100,000 for surveillance footage of his alleged March 2017 assault of a woman who later came to be known as Cassie Ventura. On top of that, right? Listen, prosecutors filed an expanded indictment against Sean Diddy Combs on Thursday, in which they accused him of coercing 2 additional women into commercial sex acts and dangling a woman over an apartment balcony. Remember when I told you that Diddy will be getting charges for dangling a woman over an apartment balcony? A lot of legal experts said that could classify as attempted murking. They finally named this in the superseding indictment. Let's get into the superseding indictment and see who's been added in and who hasn't. Okay, let's get into this. He created a criminal enterprise whose members and associates engaged in and attempted to engage in other crimes, sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. Okay, they're supposed to name more victims, The co-defendants, we're seeing if any were actually named. This is the first of many superseding indictments. The federal government, everything is coming in real time. That letter that the prosecutor just wrote the judge, it says that they're going to be making multiple superseding indictments. However, everything will be in by March 17th, or so they promise. Okay. There has to be other people. Sex trafficking, you don't do that on your own. Forced labor, Diddy has a whole staff of people. That means they're involved. Kidnapping, you think it was Kid Cudi? I do. Do you think it was Kid? Because when they said arson, or maybe it was Cassie, when they said arson and the kidnapping, I don't know. I was on the blogs for a while, and I think that the kidnapping actually might be of Kid Cudi, because I don't believe that somebody like Diddy would just blow up somebody's car to teach a lesson without like literally snatching that fool up, taking him somewhere, maybe driving him around, roughing him up, and then setting him free. Again, the whole point of putting the bang bang in Kid Cudi's car was to dissuade him from dating Cassie. Okay. Was to dissuade him from dating Cassie. It makes me think that if they snatched him up too and roughed him up, that is actually kidnapping, bribery, and obstruction of justice. They said that Diddy operated business headquartered at various times in Manhattan and LA under a variety of United States corps. I actually think Justin and maybe even Christian might be co-defendants too. Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. I'm looking for the new stuff because they did an amended one, right? So they said that he engaged in persistent and pervasive pattern of abuse toward women and other individuals. The physical abuse by Diddy is outlined. Let's see. Combs was not limited to these women. To extent his employees witnessed his abuse and others. Kick, drag, and throw a vase at a woman. She attempted to leave. Member intervenes. He attempted to bribe them into silence. Diddy, with the assistance of several close associates, paid hotel security staff $100K for the hotel surveillance footage. Okay, let's get into this. Intermediates. The Combs Enterprise. Again, that is Janice Combs, Justin Combs, KK. Maybe even, did they give Christian, did Christian have a job before he got arrested? Hold on, y'all. We're getting to the good part. We're reading over this in real time. And we want to see who these other people are. Means and methods. What did they do? Combs and other members and associates of Combs Enterprise, that's Justin, Janice Combs, and all those other people, wielded the power and prestige of his role in the business to intimidate, threaten, and lure female victims into his orbit under the pretense of a romantic relationship. He then used force, threats of force, coercion to cause victims, including but not limited to 3 female victims, to engage in commercial sex acts in connection. Blah, 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 blah. Some of the acts involved male commercial workers and were referred to by Combs as other things as freak-offs. Let's see. Freak-offs were elaborate and produced blank performances where Diddy arranged, directed, blank, 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 and electronically coordinated. In arranging these freak-offs with the assistance of other members and associates of the enterprise, transported and caused to be transported commercial blank workers across state lines and internationally. Now, here's the funny thing before we get into that, because I actually want to look. I find it very funny that everybody is acting like, oh, so what? It was all consensual. He used escorts. The only thing about that is I really kind of feel like we are in upside down world, because does anybody know that that is illegal? And moving blank workers across state lines, is still illegal. And that still could count as sex trafficking. I'm sure this isn't the extent of it, but it could still count. Okay, let's look for who these names are. Here we go. They seized freak-off supplies, including narcotics and more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil. Commercial blank acts involved only Other commercial blank acts involved only Diddy and a female victim, As with freak-offs, other members and associates of the enterprise assisted with arrangements for these commercial blank acts, including by arranging travel and accommodation for victims. At times, Diddy, with the assistance of other members and associates of the enterprise, transported and caused to be transported victims across state lines intentionally in connection with the commercial blank acts. Like the freak-offs, these commercial blank acts involving Diddy and the female victim were prearranged, sometimes lasted multiple days, were sometimes electronically recorded by Diddy, and often involved Diddy distributing a variety of controlled substances to the victim in part to keep them obedient and compliant. Um, okay, so who is it? Members and associates of the enterprise, including high ranking supervisors, sounds like Justin, security staff, household staff, personal assistants, that's KK, maybe a few chefs, Roger Bonds, did you testify already? And other Combs business employees facilitated by freak-offs, among other things, booking hotel rooms for the freak-offs, stocking the hotel rooms in advance with the required freak-off supplies. I believe that would be personal assistants and KK, including controlled substance and Brandon, baby oil, lubricant, extra linens, lighting, cleaning the hotel rooms after the freak-offs to try to mitigate room damage, and arranging for travel for victims, commercial blank workers, and Diddy uh to and from. Hold on really quick. Let me just forward this. 1 second. One second, guys. Okay. One more second. I'm just sending this fun stuff off. The whole world is going crazy with these indictments. You guys are getting it early and soon and fast, and we are uh reading everything for you guys. Okay, there we go. All right. So hold on, you guys. Let me just flip through this really quick and see where the new people are actually named, because I'm actually really interested in this. Whose name? Where are the new victims' names? Victim 1, victim 2, victim 3. Asset provisions. Okay, hold on really quick. Interestingly enough, it's Daniel Sassoon signed off on this. Hold on really quick. I don't see where they're named though. So I'm looking through this and I see a lot of stuff, but I really actually don't see where they name them. Individual employed, Sean Diddy Combs. All right, purposes of the Combs enterprise, means and methods of enterprise. Some of the all right, so they gave a little more information. Okay. So they're saying right here, let's get back into this. Hold on. Let's go into the prosecutor's letter really quick. Let's go back to that and make sure we understand. Okay, so here's what it did. Diddy now has the names of these women. However, that's a prosecution letter. Hold on really quick. Now has the names of these women. However, they actually expanded the indictment. So we're going to have to read through because they gave more information. So it's actually important not to skip over that. Okay. I thought they actually gave the names of the women, but now they're letting them know it's not just one victim. There's actually 3 victims. Okay. Right. Um, Okay. On numerous occasions, from at least in or about 2029 and continuing for years, Diddy assaulted women by, among other things, right? Diddy assaulted women by, among other things, striking, punching, dragging, throwing objects, and kicking them. His violence was not limited to these women. It extended to his employees, witnesses to his abuse, and others. On one occasion, in Los Angeles hotel, you guys know, he bribed for 100,000. Let's see. They the defendant used the Comb business, including certain employees, to carry out, facilitate, and cover up his acts of violence, abuse, and commercial smex. Those employees, including security staff, household staff, personal assistants, and high-ranking supervisors and other close associates, acted as Diddy's intermediaries, and their conduct was facilitated and assisted by Diddy's control of the Combs enterprise. So that means that if KK and all those people, the cook, the chef, Roger Bonds, we already know Uncle Gene and probably Roger Bonds is singing like a canary. Current security staff, if they don't start talking, they will be named as also. They said, and also the way they keep saying high-ranking supervisors, that Justin Janice was Christian a supervisor. It's odd that he adopted Quincy, and Quincy's the only one not up and down the Colton Enterprises. Very, very odd. Let's see. From at least on or about 2004 through in or about 2024. The defendant and others, known and unknown, were members and associates of a criminal organization. Members and associates of the Combs enterprise engaged in and attempted to engage in, among other activities, sex trafficking, forced labor, interstate transportation for purposes of prostitution, coercion, and enticement to engage in prostitution, narcotics offenses, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. Again, for everybody saying, oh, who cares? It was consensual. It's sex workers, baby. That is illegal, moving sex workers, either making somebody a sex worker or engaging and moving prostitutes across state lines. Anyway, right? And they tried to get people to entice them to engage in prostitution. No, don't tell me they're gonna have WhatsApp and Apple iMessages up on the screen like, yo, why don't you come? Let me come over. I'll buy you a new bag. That's sound like prostitution. All these incels want to say that's prostitution. If you want a bag to sleep with someone, okay, well, now we're gonna get you arrested for it. You're right. It goes both ways. Offering it also. The Combs enterprise, including its leadership, that is, to me, Justin, Janice, maybe even Christian. A few other people unnamed, but it is who it is. All right. That is a group of individuals associated, in fact, through not a legal entity. The Combs enterprise consisted of Diddy, entities with the Combs business, including but not limited to Bad Boy Entertainment, Combs Enterprises, and Combs Global, individuals employed by and associated with the business, and others known and unknown. You think Jigga Man's worried about this? Go watch my live after you watch this one because it's really good about what's going on with Jay-Z. The Combs Enterprise constituted an ongoing organization whose members function as a continuing unit for a common purpose of achieving the objectives of the Combs Enterprise. The enterprise was engaged in and its activities affected interstate and foreign commerce. Remember, we were the first to actually break that. The prosecutors flew over to London and were interviewing potential victims from London. Again, remember, we were saying that not even us, Little Rod said that there are bank accounts overseas, Germany, Italy, somewhere in the EU, and over in islands. And that's what they use, money transfers. Even over to Japan, they use that as money transfers to pay for this trafficking and other stuff too. Okay. Let's see. They constitute an ongoing organization whose members function as a continuing unit for a common purpose of achieving the objectives of Diddy's enterprises. The enterprise was engaged in and its activities affected interstate and foreign commerce. The enterprise operated in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere. At all times relevant to this indictment, Diddy, right, was the leader of the enterprise. Diddy and others known and unknown participated in unlawful and other activities related to the conduct of the enterprise affairs. These individuals included certain business employees, such as members of Combs' security staff, household staff, personal assistants. Ooh, KK is going to be named as a co-defendant, and high-ranking supervisors, as well as other close associates of Combs. Now, here's where they expanded the purpose. The purpose of the enterprise included the following: operating a global business in the media, entertainment, and lifestyle industries, including, among other things, record labels, recording studio, an apparel line, alcohol and spirits business, a marketing agency, and a television network and media company. See, that's why Revolt dropped him lickety split, because they said, you ain't pulling us down. Notice he said a television and a media company. That's Revolt, but Revolt got rid of him. So the minute they publicly got rid of him, as of that moment, they were no longer involved in the RICO Act. However, they still have all those other years to whatever. And if Diddy was doing this in his own company, what was he doing at Revolve? Anyway, preserving, protecting, promoting, and enhancing the power, reputation, and brand of Diddy as a musician, entertainer, and figure in the entertainment industry. Enriching members and associates of the criminal enterprise, including its leader, Diddy, and in particular, those who demonstrated loyalty to Diddy and willingness to conceal his crimes. Baby, if this isn't Justin, Christian, maybe even Quincy, and Mama Janice, did they not get enriched? We saw by Quincy, Christian, and Justin posting those, Dad, we love you. We want to show you a different side of our dad, right? All the happy things, right? But not even that. Did Janice not write a letter to the public saying, you don't know, my boy doesn't know the difference between a lie and reality? And I said, you making him sound like Hannibal Lecter. Be still, my beloved. Like, I was like, Janice, if you don't go, like, I know you think you helping your son, but you're making him sound like even bigger monster. You now trying to tell us he has a psychological problem. He confuses the lie and the truth get confused so much he doesn't even know what's real. Okay. I mean, that's the way I read it. They fulfilled the personal desires. Here we go. Sorry. Preserving, protecting, promoting, and enhancing the power of the Combs enterprise, including the power of its leader, Diddy, through violence, use of firearms, threats of violence, coercion, and verbal, emotional, physical, and sexual abuse. Fulfilling the personal desires of Diddy, particularly those related to Diddy's sexual gratification, including the exploitation of women and the use of commercial sex workers. Enabling Diddy and other members and associates of the Combs enterprise to engage in unlawful acts of violence, including sexual violence, sex trafficking, forced labor. Forced labor, interstate transportation for purposes of prostitution, coercion and enticements to engage in prostitution, narcotics distribution, and other crimes, and concealing the commission of such acts. Ooh, that's a lot. Sexual violence, unlawful acts of violence, enabling Diddy and other members and associates. So they all did unlawful acts of violence, unlawful, of course, sexual violence, sex trafficking, forced labor, interstate transportation for purposes of prostitution, coercion and enticement to engage in prostitution. They distributed narcotics and other crimes and concealing the commission of such acts. Now, pause. That narcotics line. Tell me Brandon ain't flipped. Remember when Brandon got arrested and he got a charge and they said, it's okay, he got a diversion program. And I said, Brandon flipped 100%. And y'all was like, what are you talking about? Not y'all, but people in the back. It's common for the FBI or the feds to give a diversion. I said, you must be crazy if you are personal alleged mule of someone that they are accusing of being a RICO level criminal. And you literally get hemmed up Do you not think that they won't give you the maximum sentence just to see if you can talk? They are not going to just let you go on your own. Anyway, right? Securing absolute loyalty from members of the Combs enterprise, including through acts of violence and threats, protecting the Combs enterprise and its members and associates, including Diddy, from detection and prosecution by law enforcement authorities through acts of intimidation, manipulation, bribery, and threats of retaliation against individuals who witnessed the crimes committed by members and associates of the enterprise. Oh gosh, Diddy. Oh, the means and methods. Diddy and other members and associates of the enterprise conducted and participated in the conduct of the affairs of the enterprise, included in the following. Diddy and other members and associates of the enterprise wielded the power and prestige of Diddy's role in the Combs business and to intimidate, threaten, and lure female victims into Diddy's orbit, often under the pretense of a romantic relationship. He then used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims, including but not limited to 3 female victims, 1, 2, and 3. We already know that Cassie is victim 1. Who do you think victim 2 is? If you guys did watch the Diddy documentary, which it's called The Fall of Diddy, The Making of a Mogul. It's from the same people that did Quiet on the Set. It's really, really good. I'm thinking about doing a live watch party. I do make a cameo in there. I'm just saying. But even if I didn't, they have Diddy's ex-girlfriend from Canada. I didn't know he had a Canadian girlfriend. They had his ex-assistant. They had a lot of people. And they're like, when you hear the testimony, there's no way that anybody with a conscience can truly believe that Diddy is in fact innocent, right? But anyway, let's get back into that. So now there's 2 other victims. We know that victim 1 is most likely Cassandra Ventura or Cassie. Victim 2 and 3, we are not sure who they are. Has anybody heard from Gina Hahn? And I'm not even being funny. After watching Tasha K's interview about what Diddy did to Gina Hahn, I hope she is talking to the feds, and I hope she is going to be one of the people that put him away because, ooh, he did her so bad. Like it was something from Silence of the Lambs. They said but not limited to 3 female victims to engage in commercial SMEX acts. In connection with the commercial SMEX acts, he provided the victims with, among other things, monetary payments, career opportunities, and payment of rent and housing expenses. Drop a 1 in the chat. Do you think that Young Miami is one of the people? Again, I ask of you, do you think Young Miami is actually one of the people that might be flipping on Diddy? I'm just saying. Monetary payments, career opportunities, and payment of rent and other housing expenses. Some of the commercial SMEX acts involved male commercial SMEX workers and were referred to by Diddy as, among other things, freak-offs. Freak-offs were elaborate and produced SMEX performances that Diddy arranged, directed, did other disgusting stuff too, and often electronically recorded. In arranging these freak-offs, Diddy, with the assistance of other members and associates of the enterprise, transported and caused to be transported commercial SMEX workers across state lines and internationally. Freak-offs occur regularly, sometimes lasted multiple days, and often involved multiple commercial SMEX workers. During freak-offs, he distributed a variety of controlled substances to victims, in part to keep them obedient and compliant. Sometimes, unbeknownst to victims, he kept videos he filmed of victims engaging in SMEX acts for commercial SMEX workers. After freak-offs, Diddy and victims typically received IV fluids to recover from physical exertion and drug use. Now, pause. I'm not one to gossip, but do y'all remember that weird video of Diddy kissing his mama on the lips and them bragging that his mom can put both hands on the ground and take it, pow, 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 pow. And she was like, he's like, what you always tell me, mama? And she's like, keep going, baby. I just tell you to keep going. And I was just like, ugh, I'm going to need a shower after this. But it's so funny. He zoomed into her white fingernails and they were both getting IVs. He did say that his mom is his best friend in that video. He said they do everything together. He said, F it, I take my mama to the strip club. That's my dog. We do everything together. Ugh, right? Anyway, Members and associates of Diddy's enterprise, including high-ranking supervisors, KK, Justin, Christian, Quincy. Who else had a job? Did Janice have a job? I'm sure she was on payroll. Security staff, Gene Deal, we already know that he's flipping. Hold on. Oh, is there a link to the documentary? There is. I should drop it in the chat. Hold on, you guys. Hold on. It's on Max. It's on Max. Let's see. The Fall of Diddy. It's on HBO, I think. The Fall of Diddy. The Fall of Diddy episodes. How do you watch it? Hold on, y'all. Because I just had the app. Oh, it's on Investigation, Discovery, and Max. If you're trying to watch The Fall of Diddy for free, you'll need a subscription to a TV live streaming service like Philo, which offers a 7-day free trial for new customers. The True Crime Channel also streams its content live. Oh, it's also on Amazon Prime. It's also on Amazon Prime Video. You can catch it there too. I'll put the link to the watch for free on Philo in the chat stream really quick before we get in here. You can sign in for that. Yeah, there's lots of ways you can watch it. It's on Investigative Discovery. Just put in The Fall of Diddy, and I'll try to put a link in the description box. But I think Amazon Video has it. Philo has it. Investigative Discovery Max has it. It's on one of like HBO's channels. Okay, so, but I'll do that. Let me get back to this, and I'll do it after the thing. Oh, so where was I? Oh, after they used IVs to recover. They had IVs. Members and associates of the Combs enterprise, including high-ranking supervisors, security staff. We already know Gene is telling the feds everything they need to know. Roger Bonds has indicated that he would stand for Cassie, and he probably, because Cassie named him in the lawsuit, I'm sure Roger Bonds has actually spoken to the feds too. The current security, I don't know who Diddy's current security is, but the security saying that he didn't grape Thalia Graves. Okay, but I'm sure he's been questioned too. I wonder what he had to say about that. Anyway, right? Including high-ranking supervisors, security staff, household staff, personal assistants, and other Combs business employees facilitated the freak-offs. Among other things, booking hotel rooms for the freak-offs, stocking the hotel rooms in advance with the required supplies, including controlled substances, baby oil, lubricant, extra linens, and lighting, cleaning the hotel rooms after the freak-offs to try to mitigate room damage, arranging for travel of victims, commercial SMEX workers, and Diddy for Diddy and the other people to and from the freak-offs, resupplying Diddy with requested supplies. Resupplying? So let me get this straight. You had to literally, let me get this straight. You had to do the supplies, right? You had to do the supplies, and then you had to come back and show the supplies. Oh my God, that's absolutely horrible. And I mean horrible. Let me see if I can just move this over just a little bit. Hold on really quick, you guys. I hear you guys. I'm going to try to move this over just a little bit. Well, anyway. One second. Let's see. Okay, we'll put that up there. We'll put that down there. Hold on one second, you guys. I'm sorry. Okay. I give up. Anyway, we won't keep reading this. Okay. So you had to wait in the hall and wait for him to I need 6 more bottles of baby oil. Hurry! Like, what does that look like? Oh my God. They also delivered large sums of cash to Diddy to pay for commercial sex workers and scheduling the delivery of IV fluids. In or about March 2024, during searches of his residence in Miami, Florida, and Los Angeles, they seized various freak-off supplies, including narcotics and over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lube. Other commercial sex acts involved only Diddy and a female victim. As with freak-offs, other members and associates of the enterprise assisted with arrangements for these commercial sex acts, including by arranging travel and accommodation for victims. At times, Diddy, with the assistance of other members and associates of the enterprise, transported and caused to be transported victims across state lines and internationally in connection with commercial blank acts. Like the freak off, these commercial blank acts involving Diddy and the female victim were prearranged, sometimes lasted multiple days, and were sometimes electronically recorded by Diddy. And they plied them with, controlled substances. Diddy subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse to cause the victims to engage in freak offs and other commercial sex acts. Now, notice they said that victims. He maintained control over his victims through, among other things, physical violence, promises of career and financial opportunities, granting and threatening to withhold financial support, and by other coercive means, including tracking their whereabouts, dictating their appearance, monitoring their medical records, controlling their housing, and supplying them with controlled substances. During and separate from freak-offs and other commercial blank acts, Diddy, among other things, hit, kick through objects and dragged victims at times by their hair. These assaults often resulted in they keep saying victims, which makes you think he did to all three of the girls. These assaults were often resulted with injuries that took days or weeks to heal. Following the assaults, Diddy, with the assistance of members and associates of the enterprise, frequently worked to conceal his misconduct by offering to provide medical assistance or other financial benefits to the victims. He also threatened victims' careers and livelihoods, including if they resisted engaging in blank acts with Diddy and at times with Diddy and male commercial blank workers. Victims believed they could not refuse Diddy's demands without risking their financial or job security or without repercussions in the form of physical and emotional abuse. Diddy also used his sensitive, embarrassing, and incriminating records that he made during freak-offs as collateral to ensure the continued obedience and silence of the victims. Members and associates of the enterprise, including Diddy's security personnel, at times carried firearms. On more than one occasion, Diddy himself carried and brandished firearms to intimidate and threaten others, including victims of and witnesses to his abuse. In or about March 2024, during the searches of Diddy's residence in Miami, Florida, and Los Angeles, law enforcement seized firearms and ammunition, including 3 AR-15s with defaced serial numbers, as well as a machine gun drum magazine. Members and associates of Diddy's enterprise enabled Diddy's control over victims by following his directions regarding financial payments to victims, advancing or suppressing the victims' career opportunities, and acquiring the controlled substances Diddy used to keep them compliant. That sounds like KK and Brandon. Members and associates of the enterprise at times witnessed Combs' violence behavior toward the victims' injuries caused by Combs without intervening. Instead, members and associates of the enterprise helped conceal the violence and abuse by, among other things, um, assisting Diddy in monitoring and preventing victims from leaving locations such as hotels or the residence. These occasions included instances in which the victims was required to remain in hiding, sometimes for several days at a time, to recover from injuries he inflicted without being publicly observed. Members and associates of the enterprise also assisted Diddy in locating and contacting victims who attempted to flee his abuse. When employees witnessed to his abuse or others threatened Combs' authority or reputation, hold on, threatened blah 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 blah. Diddy and members of the Associated Enterprise engaged in acts of violence, threats of financial and reputational harm, and verbal uh, abuse. These acts of violence included arson and multiple acts of kidnapping, including one instance of kidnapping during which Diddy carried. Okay, here we go. This is new. A lot of this is new, but this is important. When employees witnessed to his abuse or others threatened Diddy's authority or reputation, Diddy and members and associates of the enterprise engaged in acts of violence, threats of financial and reputational harm, and verbal abuse. Let's not forget what the baby oil bandits did to Ray J. I'm just saying. These acts of violence included arson and multiple acts of kidnapping, including one instance of kidnapping during which Diddy carried and displayed a firearm. Okay, I'm saying it now. I think Kid Cudi is the one that Diddy kidnapped and displayed a firearm to, because they keep putting it right next to the arson, and the arson was of Kid Cudi's car. You think Cudi is going to be on that stand testifying? In addition, on multiple occasions, Diddy threw both objects and people, as well as hit, dragged, choked, and shoved others. On one occasion, he dangled a victim over an apartment balcony. We were the first to actually report that and said that Diddy is probably going to get an attempted murking charge for that. Let's not forget there are more and superseding indictments coming out, but this one is very interesting. When Diddy's authority and reputation was threatened by the possibility of negative publicity or legal or law enforcement action against him, including in or about late 2023 following public allegations of the crimes, Diddy and members and associates of the enterprise pressure witnesses and victims, including, so they're talking about last year, including through attempted bribery, to stay silent and not report what they had experienced or knew to law enforcement. Again, I just want to say, remember, we were the first people to report that when we saw Diddy in New York, our sources told us that Diddy was trying to bribe people to stay quiet. It's very odd that the feds said they found the same thing in their investigation. We were the first to report that. I'm just saying. Anyway, right? Combs and members and associates of the enterprise pressured witnesses and victims, including through attempted bribery, to stay silent and not report what they experienced or knew to law enforcement. On phone calls, Diddy and other members and associates of the enterprise, among other things, provided these victims and witnesses with a false narrative of events in an effort to conceal Combs' crimes. Combs caused these calls to be recorded on at least 2 occasions. Oh my God. Wow. He caused these calls to be recorded on at least 2. So he provided these victims and witnesses with a false narrative of events in an effort to conceal his crimes. Here we get into the racketeering. On at least in or about 2024 through in or about 2004 to 2024, 20 years, in the SDNY and elsewhere, Diddy and others known and unknown, being persons employed by and associated with the Combs enterprise described in paragraph 6 to 12 of this indictment, an enterprise engaged in and the activities of which affected interstate and foreign commerce, notably combined, conspired, confederated, and agreed together and with each other to violate the racketeering laws of the United States. To wit, Title 18 United States Code Section 1962C, that is, to conduct and participate directly and indirectly in the conduct of the affairs of the enterprise through a pattern of racketeering activity, as that term is defined by Title 18. Multiple acts of kidnapping. What? Diddy engaged in multiple counts of kidnapping? Chargeable under the provisions of state law. So all this kidnapping happened in California, and kidnapping, attempted kidnapping, aiding and abetting, and in New York, kidnapping, attempted, aiding and abetting, and conspiracy. Okay, so all the kidnapping happened in either California or in New York. Multiple acts of arson. So it wasn't just the car bomb. Diddy was putting car bombs out. Multiple acts involving arson, chargeable under the following provisions of state law. So he did it in California. So all the acts of arson were in California. Okay. Is California going to bring up charges against Diddy? Because this is ridiculous. He was just running amok. Multiple acts involving bribery, chargeable under the following provisions. So he bribed in California. So all that happened in California. Multiple acts indictable under Title 18 relating to tampering with a witness and or informant. Oh, did Diddy try to bribe an informant? Okay. Also, multiple acts relating to forced labor, multiple acts relating to sex trafficking, multiple acts relating to transportation and inducement for travel for purposes of prostitution and other illegal activities, multiple offenses involving the possession with intent to distribute or distribution of narcotics and controlled substances, including coca, oxy, amaprol, Xanax, meth, what is this? Bromo dioxide, gamma hydroxine, special K, Cylon, and meth. What's it in between meth and methyl dioxamine? I'm sure one of those are the date grape drug. Um, the distribution and possession with intent to distribute and conspiracy to do the same, aiding, abetting, and willfully causing. It is part of the conspiracy that Diddy agreed to be a conspirator, and anyone that agreed to be a conspirator would commit at least 2 acts of racketeering activity in the conduct of the affairs of Combs Enterprise. So everybody that they're going to name as his co-conspirators and co-defendants engaged in at least 2 acts of the conspiracy. Oh, but wait, there's more. They said from at least in or about 2009 up to and including in or about 2018 in the Southern District of New York or elsewhere, as part of his agreement to conduct and participate in the conduct of the affairs of the Diddy Enterprise through a pattern of racketeering activity, Diddy agreed to, and in affecting interstate and foreign commerce, knowingly recruit, entice, harbor, transport, provide, obtain, advertise, maintain, patronize, and solicit by any means a person knowing and in reckless disregard of the fact that means of force, threats, force, fraud, and coercion, and in any combination of such means would be used to cause the person to engage in commercial sex act in violation of. Oh my God. Let's get into this. The grand jury further charges from at least in or about 2029 up until including 2018 in the Southern District of New York. The defendant in and affecting interstate and foreign commerce knowingly recruited, enticed, harbored, transported, provided, obtained, advertised, maintained, patronized, and solicited by any means a person knowing and in reckless disregard of the fact that means of force, threats of force, fraud, and coercion, and any combination of such means would be used to cause a person to engage in commercial sex act and attempted, aided, and abetted, and willfully caused the same. To wit, Diddy recruited, enticed, harbored, transported, and maintained victim 1, and attempted, aided, and abetted, and willfully caused victim 1 to engage in commercial sex acts, knowing and in a reckless disregard for the fact that victim 1 was engaging in the commercial sex acts as a result of force, fraud, or coercion. So that's count 2. Count 3. Transportation to engage in prostituting. From at least in or around 2009, they transported individuals to interstate and foreign commerce with intent with the individuals engaged in prostituting and attempted, aided, and abetted, and willfully caused the same. Okay. The transportation of female victims, including but not limited to victim 1, victim 2, victim 3, and the commercial sex workers in interstate and foreign commerce for multiple occasions with the intent to engage in prostitution. Forfeiture. This is the most damaging thing because they're basically trying to say because everything that business Diddy had, owned, touched was all part of his criminal enterprise. This includes any trust made out of that, out of proceeds, any offshore accounts, anything, his whole financial. If they can prove these, they're going to take his whole kingdom. That means that anything that the kids did not earn with their hard labor, these kids may be left penniless. Interestingly enough, this is another thing I think of Diddy's, in my opinion, control and abuse. Think about it. You have a billionaire dad. All of Diddy's kids, beautiful, good looking. He got great looking kids. They all are, even as much as like I drag Christian Combs struggle rap. Christian actually had, like, he was a cute rapper, right? Like, he could have developed, but he was doing okay. Christian, all his kids are very talented, all of them. And the fact that he is in the entertainment industry, he's in music, he's in media, and he made sure that all his kids, the only thing they could do would be accessories to him on the red carpet. He let Christian perform with him on the stage, but only Christian only with him. He never gave Christian that big stage on his own. Do you know what I'm saying? But I think it's very interesting that Diddy clipped the wings of all his children. All of his children. You know what I'm saying? And now that all his money is about to go to the popo, he left his kids penniless because he never let them create identities outside of them being Diddy's kids, his assistants, running his empire. They were never allowed to branch out. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what it is. Anyway, right? So basically, with these forfeiture allegations, Diddy is going to be broke, and so are the kids. They're saying any and all interests in securities, claims against property or contractual rights of any kind affording a source of influence over the empire, the enterprise named and described herein, which the defendant established, operated, controlled, conducted, and participated in the conduct of, um, and any and all property constituting and derived from proceeds obtained directly and indirectly. Said offense, including but not limited to a sum of money in the United States currency representing the amount of proceeds traceable to the commission of said offense. As a result of committing these offenses, the defendant shall forfeit to the United States any and all property, real and personal, involved in, used, or intended to be used to commit or facilitate the commission of said offense, and any and all property traceable to such property. Any and all property, real or personal, constituting or derived from proceeds obtained directly or indirectly as a result of said offense, including but not limited to a sum of money in the United States currency representing the amount of property involved in said offense. So they're saying anything that not only cash, but any property or any property that was bought, obtained, sold, bartered, that resulted from any money that actually came, which is basically everything, even those college funds, even the trust, everything. They want any and all property, real and personal, constituting derived from, y'all know it's the same thing over and over and over. They said any and all property, real and personal, that constitutes or is derived from proceeds traceable to the commission of said offense, including but not limited to a sum of money. Okay, so they want everything. Substitute assets provision. If any of the above described forfeitable property as a result of any act or omission of defendant cannot be located upon exercise of due diligence, has been transferred or sold to or deposited with the third person, has been placed beyond the jurisdiction of the court, and has been substantially diminished in value. So even if he tried to sell something or even liquidate something, they're still coming for it, right? Or has been commingled with other property which cannot be subdivided without difficulty. It is the intent of the U.S., pursuant to all these things, to seek forfeiture of any other property of the defendant up to the value of the above forfeitable property. You guys, yeah. You guys, Diddy is officially done. Diddy is not a little, but he is officially done. Officially done. Some people are saying, Tisa, I think this could be Little Rod. Why I 100% believe that Little Rod is testifying for the feds, I don't think that who they're talking about is Little Rod. Why? Because Little Rod was not an employee of Diddy. He was a subcontractor. He was a producer. He was never an employee. To be an employee, that means that they get wages. They're under your complete control. Little Rod was never an employee. He was a subcontractor. But I'm 100% sure that Little Rod is watching this mess. I am 100% sure, right? Listen, again, Kat said Mama Combs needs to go to prison just for that hairpiece. Y'all better stop that. Y'all better stop. Y'all. Remember when Mama Combs tried to act like, stop all this stress, my heart. And we're like, Mama Combs, your son is being accused of being Hannibal Lecter. If you don't go and get out of these internet shit, first of all, Mama Combs, you was just bragging about being able to put down both hands on the ground, flat, pow, 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 pow. And now you want to act like, oh my God, my heart pills. If you don't go sit down, take your blood pressure medicine, and leave us the heck alone, you are being accused of raising you are being accused of raising the modern version of a perverted Hannibal Lecter. Have some shame. Have some shame. You should be ashamed of yourself because at the end of the day, the apple don't fall far from the tree. Because according to one of Diddy's childhood friends, Janice was hosting low budget freak offs in her house, and Diddy walked around saying all that. Probably was there in his little socks, right? Just like, yeah, trying to go. And they're like, boy, get out of here. And he was like, one day when I grow up, they gonna be freak offs everywhere. And then I'm gonna be telling people to get away. Right? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So even Janice Combs, it has some shit. Oh, my heart. Janice, shut up. You are being accused of raising a Hannibal Lecter. Are you not ashamed? The kids have an excuse. They don't know. They were raised by a Hannibal Lecter. So we can't say anything to them. Alleged Hannibal Lecter. Diddy does maintain steadfastly he is innocent, right? But Janice, you raised that mofo. You actually did IVs and had white fingernails and was bragging about and went to the strip club with that mofo. You better tighten up before you show up on those conspiracy papers. I'm just saying. Didn't they say you enticed, coerced, tried to get them to say? I don't know if Cassie and Janice ever got along, but imagine if they didn't. Wouldn't that be a way to get back at your mother-in-law you can't stand? You literally play a voice message where they was like, doesn't that mean, wouldn't that be funny if like in the courts they pay a voice message with Janice was like, listen here, you hussy. You ain't gonna be taking my son's money. And if he tells you to stay in that room, you better stay. And don't be calling my phone being like, oh, Janice, help me. You better know. Because girls like you don't deserve to be the queen of this throne. It'd just be funny if they actually pulled up a tape or a text where Janice Combs was telling Cassie she wasn't worthy to be Diddy and she better shut up, blah, 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 blah. And you could imagine how good you feel to be in court and be like, yes. And that little message, now you a co-conspirator because you helped them keep me under, right? Listen, again, at the end of the day. Oh, Jamie had a good question. She said, does this mean that Diddy can't pay these other people in civil cases off of his blood money? No, not at all. So honestly, what usually happens in federal forfeiture is the feds confiscate your stuff, but it's used to pay off your victims. Federal forfeiture does not count with civil cases. The civil cases, if I'm not mistaken, still have access to that money, but the feds pay it out to the victims. The feds pay it out to the victims. At the very least, also the reason why a lot of people are suing Diddy's insurance companies is well, no, that's not true. I was going to say that in some cases the insurance company might pay out, but the thing is insurance companies will not pay claims for when you knowingly engage in reasonably illegal behavior. You see what I'm saying? So if you knowingly grape somebody, the insurance can cancel your coverage because you knew that grape was a crime. If that's not the case, then like the serial killer Charles Manson can go to State Farm and be like, hi, I'd like to get some insurance. And you could literally get insurance, go on a spree, and then come back and be like, oh, good thing I don't got to pay anything. Go ahead and talk to State Guard. Nationwide is on your side, right? So again, insurances have to pay when you engage in behavior that you didn't know was illegal. Like, for instance, in an office sexual harassment, I didn't know. I thought she liked it when I said her booty looked cute in that dress. I thought it was a compliment. The reason why insurance will pay off for that is because a reasonable person of the circumstances could say, well, maybe he did think he was paying a compliment, but it was still grossly inappropriate. So we're going to pay out, and you can't do that behavior anymore. But if it's something like I dragged her by the dress into the alley and then graped her cold body, that's different. That's objectively, everybody knows that is illegal. Everybody knows that grape is illegal. You see what I'm saying? So insurance in that case would be like, nope, we cancel the policy. We cannot cover knowing malicious intent crimes. Because honestly, think about it. Why wouldn't the cartel get insured? Why wouldn't the next serial killer get insured? Like, if you can get a company to take monetary liability for your knowing criminal actions, why wouldn't every criminal organization just get insured? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. 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 Anyway, right? Anyway, at the end of the day, right? What do you think of this? What do you think of this, right? Listen, what do you think of that? What do you think of that? What do you think of that? I don't know. I don't know. I just know that Diddy is he's done for. Shout out to the feds. This is the first of many superseding indictments, and this is the epitome of Diddy. You got what you wanted. No, you got what you asked for, but not what you wanted. You wanted to know what they had. They said, here you go, bitch. Here's your superseding indictment, and we're going to drop 10 more on your head. And by the way, when we get more information, we'll give it to you. So stop filing stupid, frivolous letters to the court because we are busy making sure you never see the light of day. Again, Luigi Mangione got a better chance of getting out at this point than Sean Diddy Combs. Anyway, you guys, let me see. Am I missing any chats? Any super chats? Any super chats? Let's see. Any super chats? Anyway, who says you think so? M said Tisa, the Asian woman that Diddy was spending his last breath of freedom with is Jessie May. She's a Cassie lookalike. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, you guys, listen. Watch the Fall of Diddy. It is on Investigative Silent Discovery. However, you can watch it on Amazon Prime and a lot of other places. I will say also the podcast, Tings and Ramblings. You can check that out. Though if you're watching playback, there will be links. Also, really quick before I go, this is really important, you guys. I am starting to break exclusive information on Snapchat. I broke the Jay-Z news on Snapchat last night. I came to YouTube with it today. If you guys are on Snapchat, please give me a follow, Tisa Tells on Snapchat. I will be mixing up with different types of content, but I will be breaking all exclusives on Snapchat. And then, of course, bringing it to YouTube. But with Snapchat, you'll get the quick version, like 3 minutes. You don't got to sit through a 2-hour live, even though we appreciate you sitting through a 2-hour live. Also, Game Room Studios said, hi, Tisa. My name is JT. I'm an actor, writer, and performer. I love your content. Keep it up, sis. Thank you so much, Game Room Studios. I appreciate that very, very much. Game Room Studios with JT. I appreciate that very, very, very much. Let me go. You guys, go on and give Game Room Studios a subby. I just did a subscribe. Thank you so much. We support all content creators over here, small and large. Also, YM Droid said, Tisa, we know you respect elders, but you can't stop the fashion, please, for coming for that TikTok shop Hollywood collection, please. Animal control. YM Droid, no. Listen, I actually think that Diddy's mom is a beautiful woman. Now, she raised the devil. She might be the devil herself, but I actually think Janice Combs is a beautiful woman, and I like her platinum bust downs. Listen, y'all gonna see me, not at freak offs. When I'm 80 years old, I would like a face antibody. How old is Janice? 70 years old? A face antibody like Janice. Again, Janice Combs to me is a very attractive older woman. She raised the devil and she might be the devil, but let's be real. Janice Combs is beautiful. Again, and yes, she does like a good platinum lace front, but so what? I might have a red lace front when I'm 70. By that time, I'm gonna wear whatever color I want. I don't care anything about color theory. I'll do what I please. Anyway, you guys, let me know what you think in the comments, and I will talk to you later. Also, you guys, really quick, I did a really good live about the way Jay-Z is going down and the way Tony Busby just exposed him in numerous lies. If you can't watch the whole 2-hour live, I'm about to make a 10-minute video breaking it down. All right, I'll talk to y'all later. All right, hope everybody has a great day.